Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dialar's Tactics. I'm going to attempt the impossible. I'm kind of scared. But I'm going to try to do a deep dive, or I'm doing a deep dive on the lovely Aine. I've heard her called a lot of names. You know, Aine. I think it's Aine, right? Like, it's because if there was a C in front of here, it'd be Kane, right? Kane. All right, so it's Aine. All right, Aine is often, like, whenever I do a tier list or any kind of, when I talk about the best heroes, people inevitably say, why isn't Aine up there with the SSS, the S tier, the God tier, whatever? Well, that, for the most part, was purely on me. I tried to use her early, couldn't really get a lot out of her, so then I kind of abandoned her for somebody else that kind of does the same thing. And then I've come back to her, I re-geared her, and now I'm in love. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive deep into Aine. So strap on, hold on to your butts, strap in, and let's talk about her. All right, so this lovely lady, and just the animation, like, it is so cool. It's so cool. Of, like, you know, there's Vivian and Jillian with their nice angelic wings, and then we got Aine, who's just straight up like a mix between Tinkerbell and Lilith. So let's talk about her passives first. As you can see, I'm working on her passives. I want more, though. I want more. So let's talk about passive number 1. When using skill 3, her S3, attack all enemies 2 times. Total damage is modified by attack. And then damage increases according to effect resistance. This is the only hero that I know of that does this, unless there's like a rare, or not a rare, an uncommon or a common that does this. Additional damage per stat of effect resistance. Now, it doesn't say additional damage per stat equals 1% of attack, but it doesn't really tell us what the conversion is there, because you can ramp her up. I guess it would be if you can get her up to 100% effect resistance, you're basically getting another 100% attack on the P1 when using S3. And you can take this down to 4 turn cooldown, which is actually still fairly long. It is on the long side. P2, Ancient God's Favor. We're going to talk about this later. When using skill 2, 100% chance to grant all allies counter attack trigger rate increase 2. So basically, it's going to give them a counter attack buff, which, you know, a certain percentage. It's kind of funny that it's, if they get hit, it's not automatic that they're going to counter. It's a percent chance to counter, which we can look at when we look at the buffs when we do some game testing for 2 turns, which is pretty good, considering that you're probably going to be spamming her S2 the majority of the time. And also, 100% chance to grant all allies crit strike damage increase 2, baby, for 1 turn. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so it is, again, 3 is getting, you know, it's just getting to be that annoyingly long. But, you know, not crazy, but annoyingly long. So, because this crit strike damage is very, very, very effective, which we'll discuss also a little bit later. P3, her passive 3. When an ally is hit, you're not going to, this one's not as sexy. This one you're not going to feel as much, but it is going to be working in the background. 60% chance to increase the buff durations on allies by 2 turns. So you got to remember, this P2, it's going to give these buffs. So the counterattack and the crit strike damage. The crit strike damage is 1 turn, but if they get hit, that counter or crit strike damage is now going to be increased by an additional 2 turns, which is going to line up with the next time that she does, or she procs her P2. So it is, she does, you know, that long cooldown duration can get increased, although it's a 60% chance. So it is a little bit of RNG, but when it all synergizes well, it's magic. It's magic. Remove 1 debuff. This is a 2-turn cooldown. Now, keep in mind that means that she's going to have to take 2 turns. It's kind of weird how that works before her passive is active again. So basically, at the very beginning, if an ally gets hit and then they increase their buff durations, then her cooldown starts. She's got to take 2 turns before that can happen again. So, and it's only one ally, although it does say, when any ally is hit, duration of all allies by 2 turns. So very, very, very good. Very good. Her passive, all of her passives are great. We just went over Gawain, and all of his passives were just meh. And there's been other heroes where their passives are meh. Aine's, just by reading her passives, sound fantastic. So let's look at her relics. This might take a while. She comes in Frost. I only have Frost. You can get away with just using Frost. Frost is more than enough to get about 75 to 90% out of your Aine, barring development. So let's go through her S3. We'll start at her S3. Gains defense increase 2 for 2 turns. Gains effect resistance increase 2 for 1 turn. You can make that 2 turns when you max out. Remember, though, she's going to give or convert that to damage. Well, she'll convert it to attack, which goes to damage, on her P3. Or her her P3, which procs off of this S3. Woo! Woo! Okay. So this is actually really, really good. And you're only going to use this probably like once, though, right? So we'll get to that again when we get to the footage. And then grant all allies dot immunity. I know when this game first started, I was trying to use this dot immunity function in Gorgos. It worked, didn't work. So then I quickly found the right team, and now I just do that. But I do want to get all of her skills maxed out. Well, actually, I want to get her S2 and her S3 maxed out. Her S1 isn't really that good. Now the big shabam, the whammy, the mother load, her S2. So when she does it, it is a non-attacking ability. 100% independent chance to remove 3 debuffs from each ally. That alone, good. 100% chance to remove 2 dots from each ally. Good. And then this one is the most important. 70% independent chance to grant each ally attack increase 2 for 2 turns. So 70% chance, that is fairly consistent. And keep in mind that she's also going to give them the crit damage with her S2 or her P2. Oof, I'm getting my P's and my S's and my C's mixed up. When using S2 on a cooldown, she's also going to be doing the counterattack and the crit strike damage. So she'll be getting all that and the attack increase up to, and then all the cleanses. So very, very, very good. Very good. Her S1 doesn't really matter. Attack 1 enemy. 35% chance to grant abnormal status immunity to a random ally for 1 turn. Now, normally, if she has counterattack, she's going to be using her S1. But when you get to her C4, her Chivalry 4, that's going to move to her S3. So her S1 becomes basically ineffective and unimportant. So that's her base relic. A lot going on there. It'll all synergize when we start testing her out. So I remember back when right at the start of the game, I heard a lot about her fire relic, but now I'm hearing more and more and more about her wind relic. I don't have either. It's going to be a while for me, but let's go over them. Now, I do hear that wind and fire are good for PvP, but I hear both arguments for fire or wind. I just kind of ignore them because I haven't really read the kit. So let's go over her relic kits for fire and storm with you all. So let's see, how much better is this? So her S3 now, before it was granting all these buffs, right? On her Frost, it's defense increase, effect resistance. Now her S3 is attack all enemies, damage 154%, grants all allies debuff immunity, which is nice. And remember, with her S3, it's her P1. When using skill 3, she's also going to do another AoE attack 2 times with that effect resistance based attack. So her Storm Relic S3 is a 3-banger because she's going to do the ability, hit them all, and then if her P1 is off cooldown, she's going to hit them all again 2 times for mucho damage. So this is an attacking. She becomes more of an attacker with the wind. I'm seeing that already. What does her S2 do? 100% chance to remove 2 dots. That's the same. Now it's 100% chance to remove 1 abnormal status, which is good. That's any CC. So I can see why this is good for PvP. Abnormal status, we can click on it right here, and it'll tell you it's all CC. Stuns, freezes, silence, bind, sleep, fear, oblivion, brainwash. She can remove all that when she uses her S2. And, oh yeah, I'm still on wind. And 70% chance to grant that crit strike rate increase to an ally for 2 turns, whereas the frost was attack increase. So she is still going to get the crit damage increase from her passives. Her ice is going to give you attack increase. Her wind is going to give you crit strike rate. So crit rate increase. Oh, to an ally, a single ally. Well, that might not be as beneficial. And then this one, attack 1 enemy. Again, a chance to grant abnormal status immunity for a random ally for 1 turn. So you see the difference there. Her Storm Relic, she's a little bit more greedy. She's more about Aine. She's less about her allies. Let's look at Fire. Fire S3. So 60% independent chance to grant each ally abnormal status immunity for 2 turns. I can see why that might be good in PvP, because that is going to give each ally, because you can take this up obviously to 80%. That's going to give each ally at the start of battle, if you use it at the start of battle, abnormal status immunity for 2 turns, meaning you can't be CC'd at all for basically the good first chunk of the fight. And then, again, it's an AoE, attack all enemies, damage based on this, and then she's going to follow up with that 2 hits that procs her P1. So I like this. Different. So her S3 in fire and in wind is an attack. This one grants all allies debuff immunity. Fire grants a chance to grant all allies abnormal status immunity. So I would say, just based on S3, her fire is better. Her fire is better. Yes, her fire is better. Because debuffs are something, you would think debuffs mean everything. But that's like defense down. That's like attack down. Those kind of things. Abnormal status immunity is CCs, crowd controls. Debuffs are like negative attack modifiers. I think I like her fire better. Just based on her S3. We haven't gone into her S1. Now remember, her S2 on wind was abnormal status and crit rate, whereas frost was attack up. Let's look at her S2. It is attack speed increase for 2 turns. So same thing, remove debuffs, chance to remove abnormal status, but on her fire, her S2 is all about attack speed increase too. I do prefer the S2 on her frost and wind more than her fire. So very similar, although fire and wind is more offensive, and frost does not have the attacking capability on the S3. But otherwise, similar with mild variations. Let your conscience be your guide. You tell me which one you think is the best out of fire and wind. Or if you think frost is the best, tell me frost. Tell me that down in the comment section below, as well as the code word of the day. So that's the relics. Now, if I had to just pick, if I had to pick right now, which one I would want, I would actually prefer the abnormal status immunity. Why? Because if you brainwash me, I'm going to attack my team. If you CC me, if you freeze me, I'm going to lose a turn. Whereas debuffs, I'm still going to attack. I'm just not going to be hitting as hard, which is still better than not attacking at all. So me personally, I'm okay with just having frost. But I think it goes fire edges out frost a little bit. So I would have to say it's like fire, wind, frost, or fire, frost equals wind, something like that. So that's your relics. Again, little differences. But for the vast majority of you that are watching this video, you're going to only have the frost, and the frost is going to get you by. So let's talk about her equipment. Okay, I had her geared a certain way. I originally started gearing my Aine in a speed set and a life set. That's wrong. That's wrong. You want her in my opinion, you want her in vigor, and then because her P3, yeah, I think it's her P3, or I'm getting this mixed up right here. It's her P1, which triggers when she uses her S3, her skill 3. You're going to get a bunch of increased attack, like I said, from effect resistance. So how you want to gear her is vigor, effect resistance. I did a whole re-gear of her yesterday, so now she's way, way better than she was before, and now I can make the video. But how you want to gear her is effect resistance on the neck, and as you see here, I got a really good one. I got effect resistance, and I got a blue substat effect resistance, crit rate, attack speed, attack. Very, very, very good. Now, there is a little bit of contention. She can dish out lots of damage. If you have her flame or her storm relic, she's going to dish out more damage. Even though I only have the frost relic, I would still recommend you gear her the way I'm going to tell you, although other people are going to tell you differently. Since in her frost relic, actually it's not her frost relic, since it's in her passives that she will give crit damage up. Let me just make sure I'm saying that correctly. Yep. Her passives, crit strike damage up. If she's going to attack, you want crit rate to amplify that damage done. And she can do a lot of damage. I'm going to show you that. A lot of people are going to say Aine is just here to buff up your team. She's not here to do damage. I may be wrong, but in my opinion, that statement is categorically false. She is there to buff up your allies, but you should build her for damage output as well. It does not hurt. It will only help you. So the neck was effect resistance. The earrings, crit strike rate. Then you see I have more effect resistance, substat, attack speed, crit strike damage. You do want her going as much as possible, so you want an attack speed ring. And then you want an effect resistance belt. And you see I got some attack speed on there, some more crit damage. And then an attack speed orb, in my opinion. Because, you know, I would not recommend a hit accuracy orb, because for the amount that she will be attacking, I think that you're going to get more bang for your buck out of the attack speed orb. And then I would recommend, since, you know, she doesn't have any way other than, I can't remember what relic it was, to give crit strike rate. I think it was the wind. Wind? Was it the wind? Well, let's go look. Let's go look at relics. So this one gives attack increase. Yes, it's the wind that gives the crit rate. So if you have the wind, you might have some wiggle room in gear, but since I don't, and you probably won't as well, you're not going to get that crit rate buff. So you kind of have to go for as much crit rate as possible. And then on the banner, once you have that unlocked, I would recommend a crit rate banner as well, because then I can take this puppy up north of 80%, which is right in the sweet spot for stats. Now, overall, what are her stat priorities? It's effect resistance. You see I've got 114.5%. That is going to translate on her opening attack that's on a cooldown. Like it's only for that one volley, but she's going to increase this to an extra 114.5% of attack on her S3. We'll show you that. So effect resistance, again, this is contentious, but then I would say that you want to get her as high as possible crit rate, then attack speed or crit damage. So attack speed, crit damage, then attack. Some people will advocate to build her for survivability. If you've got to worry about survivability, you're going to lose anyway. So I think that this is the ideal way to build her. Obviously 4 vigor, 2 effect resistance, and then, like I said, effect resistance on the neck, the belt, crit rate on the earrings, attack speed on the orb and the ring, and crit rate on the banner. So Am I 100% correct? No. This is just how I'm going to recommend gearing her and how I gear her. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Now let's talk about her chivalries. I was going to say synergies. So this one, Phase Queen Authority removes debuff ×1 from all allies. So her C1, I'm not going to say it's not adding anything, but it's not, like, woohoo, great, awesome. No, her C1 is not groundbreaking. A lot of heroes, their C1 does transform them right off the bat. It adds a little bit to her, but nothing really that's going to, nothing to write home about. So her C2, Torrent of Mana, damage increases according to effect resistance stats. So if you don't have her at least C2, on her P1, when she uses her S3, you are not going to convert that effect resistance into attack. So this whole video, a lot of this video is moot if you don't have her C2. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Which is why I wasn't really using her until I got her a little bit more chivalry up. Her C3. So again, this one is transformational. So her C2 was awesome. Her C3 is awesome. Her C4 is also going to be awesome because I've had it confirmed what it does. But her C3, trigger Ancient God's Favor at the start of battle. That's her P2. So it's going to trigger at the start of battle before anybody moves. It's going to trigger this. It's going to give counterattack to your allies for 2 turns, and it's going to give them that crit strike damage 2 for 1 turn. And remember, when they get hit, they can extend those buffs. She doesn't have to do anything, right? She doesn't have to do anything. She's just going to do it at the start of battle. So her C3 is fantastic. I don't know if I would even consider running Aine. You can, but you're not going to do what she can do until you have her at least C3. Now her C4 is also fantastic. Use Torrent of Mana when counter-attacking. And I had this confirmed because I had this question. Torrent of Mana is her P3. So when she starts the battle, when you have her C3, or if you use her S2, she's going to give counterattack to everybody. If you don't have her C4, she's going to use her S1. If you have her C4, she is going to trigger, or she is going to use Torrent of Mana, her P1, which is going to use her S3, and it's going to do that AoE attack. If you have a Storm Relic, if you have a Fire Relic, she's going to do even more, tons of damage, which makes her, when she counterattacks, if she is C4, highly deadly, which is again why you want to build her for those attack stats instead of just focusing on what she can do for the rest of the team and just buffing. So this is my next chivalry, is this one right here, and I'm going to get that very, very quickly because I think that takes her to another tier. HP, more crit rate. This is awesome. You can get a little bit closer to 100% if you get the banner and the earrings. HP, good. Attack, good. C8, skill 1 targets 2 allies. 2 random allies. You see how this skill 1 targets 2 random allies? I don't know if that's a typo. Because what's her skill 1? What's her skill 1? Well, her skill 1 is, in Frost, attack 1 enemy. Okay, it's not the attack. This is how that should read. So, see how this is a 35% chance to grant abnormal status immunity to a random ally? One ally for 1 turn. Well, her C3 or her C8 is going to make that 2 random allies. Not transformational at all. And then you got more crit rate. Ooh, 20%. Okay, that's going to let you change to a crit damage banner or a pierce banner. Pierce, crit damage, whatever you got to do to make it work, ladies and gentlemen. C9 is pretty good. If you can get her up there, that changes how you're going to gear her a little bit. And then this one's more attack and element compatibility. You notice all of the attack stats in there? There was a bunch of them. Lots of crit rate. You notice there was a lot of crit rate built into her chivalries. It's kind of it's like the game's telling us something. You might want to build her for attack, or for you want to build her as an attacker, even though she is a support, right? She's a support. So since she's a support, what should you be running for trinkets? What should you be running for trinkets? Well, she doesn't heal, so you don't want to have, I think this was called Immortal. You could run Strife. You could run Strife, because I kill people with her. Strife's good. Strife is really good. Other than Strife, we're going to have to go out of this here for a minute. So let's go look at the Forge. Remember, she's support. So let's look at trinkets. Loki's magic said you should use Unity, because if you run her with Bedivere, then if she's Frost, she's going to give everyone that's Frost attack and defense. That's nice. Is that game breaking? No. Focus gives her effect resistance for the rest of battle up upon gaining a buff, and she gives out buffs like Tic Tacs. So focus might be the way to go. I'd say end game, you're probably wanting to run like Focus or Unity. Corrosion's not going to help anybody. Fortitude might help, but Fortitude, Focus, and Unity all require those big mats. I think if I had my choice, I would probably want to run her in a Focus set. Focus or Unity, but if I'm picking Focus for that increased effect resistance, which is going to make her hit so much harder on turn 1. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that was a mouthful. That's 26 minutes. My game just reset. I just hit my reset. So that is Aine. If you feel I have misconstrued the best strategy for how to gear her relics, etc., please tell me in the comment section below. But now I want to show you what exactly she can do. And I talked too long, because now I can't show you what she does in the Stag's favor dungeon. Yes, I can. Okay, here we go. I'm going to burn some crystals for you guys. All right? That shows you how much I love you. That shows you how much I love you. I just burned 240 crystals for you because I talked way too long. So here we go. Let's do it. I want to do more testing. So here we go. So here's my team. What are our options? Florentius? Nah. For heals. Isolde? Nah. Okay, we got Tristan. Now this is level 10. This is stage 10. And I feel like I'm now doing it consistently. All of my heroes are fairly developed. Arduin, not so much, but this is an Aine video. So let's take this in here and let's show you how this goes. So here is what I would recommend doing. And this is what I do in most fights when I have her. I take it off auto. So this is how you're going to have her skills set up. Normally, she's going to be like this, right? Like this. So I obviously, since I need a healer, I'm prioritizing Arduin's heal over her counterattack. She's going to counterattack with her S2 anyway. Again, I don't want to talk about everyone else, but this is how I set up this dungeon. This is how I'm setting up Aine. Because given that she's got that long cooldown on her P1 that procs her off of her S3, I am just going to use her S3 at the start of battle. And then she's going to hit them. Didn't look like crazy damage, but we're going to show you that could be crazy damage. And keep in mind, this is also stage 10 of this favor dungeon. So there she goes, counterattacking. Arduin just killed someone. She counterattacks. Look at that, lots of damage. She's counterattacking because of Aine putting up her counterattack at the start of battle. And at the same time, I have my Arduin set to heal. Boom, boom, dead. Here we're going into the main boss now. Here we go. So there, pause. Let's pause. Let's talk about the buffs that Aine is bringing to the team here. Let's get my freaking noggin out of here. So you see crit strike damage up 60%. Counterattack activation rate 40%. And then when she does her S2, she's going to give that attack up buff as well. Now, unfortunately, Aine, or not Aine, oh no, fortunately, yeah. So you see my K, I don't know why I was brain farting there. She's got lots. She's got that 60% from Aine. She's also giving herself 30%, and she can get that up to another 30% just on her kit. But you see, so my Arduin has this 40%, and then I have my Arduin decked out in a counterattack set. So she's almost 100% counterattack activation rate, which allows Arduin to double dip. So now, there you go. Aine just did her S2, and now you see that attack up buff from her S2 is 40%. 40%. So now every time she does her S2, she's not going to give the crit strike damage because that comes from her passive, but she's going to give the counter attack rate and the attack up buffs. So this guy's going, oh, I want to actually switch to that, right? No need to do an AoE now, although I was doing it just fine before. And also K benefits a lot from counterattack stats because she's going to hit 5 times with her basic. So here we go. We got crit damage up again. It just came off cooldown. Hit him back, Tristan. No. All right, look at K just cha-chunking the damage. Arduin healing. Aine's nice and healthy. That's an AoE. Look at everybody hitting back. Right? Very, very, very cool. K just rocking it. Boom. Tristan died, unfortunately. But there's the counterattack. And now... oh, we died. We died. Oh, well. Well, usually that goes my way. Didn't go my way this time. Let's try something. Let's see. Can you do... hit him again. Hit him again. Hit him again. Hit him. Oh, well, he killed us. Okay. Well, usually I have this thing on farm. But that one didn't go my way. I don't know. I didn't get enough counterattacks. Who knows? So that's Aine in that one. I'm not going to run that again. Although, let's just run it one more time. We'll run it one more time. And I'm not going to be pausing it and looking at buffs and stuff. We'll just run it fast. Okay. So, let's go back to this. Oh. Screwed it up. Screwed it up. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. Let's just leave it like that. And see what happens. Let's just watch her do her thing. Arduin, pew 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 pew. Let's switch targets to this guy. There's her S2, or that was her S3, and then big old hits, killed that guy. But now let's take it off of her. There we go. Right, like that. Right, like that. Right, there we go. They like picking on my K. Boom, boom. Tristan just to chunk in the damage. So now everyone's got that crit strike damage. Everyone's got counterattack. But we don't have the attack up buff just yet. Hit him back. I don't like my K being that low for damage. There's the attack up. Okay, pick on Tristan. That's okay. Just don't kill my K. Although Tristan probably could chunk more damage, if I'm being honest. So, boom. Hit him back. Hit him back. Yeah, there we go. Cha-chunk. Cha-chunk. And dead. That's how it usually goes. See, so much smoother. So much smoother. Stage 10 down. Stage 10 down. Okay, so that's obviously Stag Favor Dungeon. You're going to use her there. Regardless, you're going to use her there if you have her. So now let's transition. Let's talk about PvP. Okay? Let's talk about PvP. Yes, I know. Ooh, look at that. Oh, we got a legendary. Cool. Oh, if it gave me an Aine, I would be so happy. Oh yeah, okay, give me my goodies. You notice how this thing always seems to proc right when I'm making videos? That's because of when I get home from work. Alright, Coliseum. And if you're wondering what all those were proccing, that's because I have the 3 daily perks. So, she is on my team. Show you my team. Here it is. Cormac's speed lead. He never does his S3 because Betty's stealing all his vigor. you saw Aine's gear. That's really all you need. So let's just pick a fight. And let's let her rip. Now, let's see how I have my skill set up. I think I have them set up so that she does, yeah. I have her going S3 and then S2. So watch her chunk this damage right here. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Boom! You're dead. So now if she had her strife set, she would attack again. Okay. Was that not cool? Was that not cool? Are you not entertained? Was that not cool? I thought that was cool. I thought that was freaking awesome. Awesome. It doesn't always go that way though. Remember, at my level of rank, these are all bots. This is not a bot, I don't think. This Nicola? I don't think that's a bot. Because they're running Anguish Lead. A bot would not run an Anguish Lead. Let's pick on Mystic Flare. Let's see how this goes again. You see, I prioritize her doing that AoE attack off the bat. It just ka-chunks so much damage. Come on, kill someone. Kill someone. Ah, Lancelot's down. And then Bedivere's dumb because for some reason this game, it's like Bedivere is like card-coded to go after Guinevere. And then you're just letting the opposing... So if you were playing this on manual, you go like this. And Bedivere would already be dead. Ooh, I'm scared. So dead. And yeah, now we can let it go. But for some reason on auto, this game likes to make Bedivere always, always, always target Guinevere. And he's just going to waste his attacks on those shields. So you saw Aine she has the ability just to level someone off the rip and KO them. So then if she had a strife set, then she would immediately... Because she's using her S3 off the beginning, right? That's how I got her set up. So then if she killed someone off the beginning, she would immediately go to her S2 and give up all of the attack up buffs for Betty to come behind and roll people. Which is why I think I might want to put her in a strife set if I'm able just to KO people turn one. So I think that's enough said. I don't know if I really have to show you more arena. Mustang John, that's the leader, I do believe, of... I can't remember the guild, but he is a monster. Not going to fight him. Nope, I'm not going to show you. He would just roll me instantly because his Morgan's too fast. So that's arena. So you're going to use her in Stag Favor. You're going to use her in arena, or you should be using her in arena. Remember, you do have to get her up to like C3 at minimum to use her effectively. But let's start looking at some story mode. You can use her in here. I just used her in, I do believe, yes, it was this one. This is hell, so I've been coming back here to clean up some of these 3 stars. And this guy right here was the bane of my existence forever. It was the win in 20 turns. Have all heroes survive. So let's see if I can show you. Oh, it's already set up. Look at that. There's the team. There's the team I was using because I think I just did this yesterday, trying to get those Lego memory stones. So this is going to highlight how good she is. Now, I want to kind of just mention something here now. In any team construction, you want your main DPS, which is, in my instance, it's Bedivere. It could be Iwaret, it could be Arthur, it could be Kay, it could be Tristan, depending on where you are in the game. Then you have to have a hero that can put debuffs on the opposing team, especially defense down, or like damage taken increase, in order to maximize the DPS from your DPSer. In this case, Morgan. Morgan Wind is the best facilitator of debuffs that are going to help your DPS. Then you want to have someone that's going to facilitate your offense. Now, Aine is great for that. She gives different buffs with different relics. Before Aine, I was using Clarison. Why? Because Clarison gives you that attack gauge up, and I use Clarison I used her in place of Aine up until recently. Now, unfortunately, I do have to admit Aine is better, but Clarison gave the crit damage up buff after Morgan went, which facilitated your Betty doing damage. Clarison's good. The turn meter or the attack gauge that she gets from her S2 is nice, but Aine's just better. And then you want a healer or someone that can do like a support role like Synergies Flame. If you I like using Jillian in this instance in story mode because she gives all of the attack gauge manipulation. You know, you can do more. You can attack faster. But Synergies fire works well too. So that last spot's kind of a little bit of a flex spot. Sometimes you can get away with running another DPS in that spot, but that's generally how you want to approach team construction in any game mode. And I guess that's a long way for me to say that Aine, as your facilitator for attack-focused or offense-focused buffs, that's where she shines. So what's going to happen here is, so what I did, turn auto off. So much like Stag's Favor, how I did that one time, I do like. So we're going to target this guy over here. So now he's got all those, right? So now I want to do Aine's S3, which is going to do the attack. So now we're already rolling, right? So now let's try to control the fight. Jillian. And now Bedivere is going to come in and hopefully deleted. Deleted. So could he have hit harder? Yes, but looks like he's already got his attack buff. Look at, what has he got? He's got Pierce. He's got crit strike up, attack up. And then the crit damage up he had, but it fell off after he took his turn. Unfortunately, he's silenced. I think I just kept doing this fight until he wasn't, and then I was able to nuke this guy turn 2 on Betty. But silence got him this time. So now, let's just see how the skills are set up. Now everything's kind of set up for automatic. So now we can just like roll into automatic. So now she does her S2 every time. But off the rip, I really do enjoy having that attack going turn 1. And as you saw in Arena, that attack on turn 1, that AoE turn 1 was just killer. So what are we at for turns here? What are we at for turns? Because this fight was a pain. We are at turn 11. Turn 11. Can we do it in under 20 turns? Now you can see the turn meter up there, way over there, way over there. We're at turn 16. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? 17. 18 turns, and there we go. We just restarted. And she's amazing as that offensive buff facilitator across all of your story mode fights. All of them. Like, I am really an Aine convert. She is amazing. So now I want to try something just off the cuff. So that's kind of all I wanted to show you to highlight how good Aine is. But let's say, let's just pick a random fight here. Let's go this guy. This guy right here. So let's just play around now, because Clan v Clan's coming up, right? So, yeah, Aine's good in a team like that, but, you know, there's a lot of pieces in that team that you're going to probably mix and match, unless you want to make one good Uber team. So now let's make a counterattack team. So we obviously want Arduin. So she does have a leader ability. Max HP, but that's in Fortress of Arcelis. Then we want Urians and we want Boar. Why? Because Urians and Boar put up counterattack. And remember, if you had Aine in her at C4, she's going to counterattack with that AoE if it's off cooldown. Otherwise, she's going to just give buffs. So this is a counteract team. I think I showed this off before, but I don't think I had Aine in this spot. So this is like a clan versus clan fight. And if you want to see that testing I did prior, then go check out my Boar's deep dive. So let's just see how this goes. Let's just see how this rolls. What I'm going to do is let's see these. So how do I got her set up? So I kind of want to go just like Stag's Favor. I kind of want to go 3-2-1. Let's see how that rolls. Now, should I be using this? I can't remember if that's good or not. Let's just roll like this. Let's see how it goes. So everybody's got lots of buffs. Arduin already doing her S2, which she should be doing. I don't have Arduin set to heal. I want her peppering the opponent with her S2 the entire time. Polymorphing them, controlling them. So was that decent damage? It doesn't feel great. That felt great. That felt great. That counterattack with her S3. So since we're not using Arduin for healing, oh, that felt good too. Because remember, Urian's has very high counterattack multipliers. So let's try, what does that do? Nothing. Boom, boom. Not great damage there. You want Urian's counterattacking, not directly attacking. So that's going to give more counterattack. So let's go look at the buffs. Let's see how much buffs everyone has. Look at this. Counterattack damage up 60%. Counterattack activation 40%, up 40%. Counterattack damage up 60%. This team is doing an insane amount of counter damage. Remember, Aine is only facilitating the attack up, the 40% counterattack activation rate, but then we're getting more from Urian's and Ban, and we're getting this counterattack damage up from who knows where. I can't remember, but this team is fun. This team is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Urian's just took a dirt nap. Could that have been prevented by running Arduin like this? Probably. This is probably how you want to run her. Since she's going to counterattack anyway, heals probably be more beneficial to you. Because she's going to use her S2 when she counterattacks anyway, and she's just going to polymorph them and do fun things. So this is an interesting team that you can think about using in Clan vs. Clan. And remember, we're going against 4 level 100 units. Now, they are commons and commons. I think that's bulk. So, yeah, you know, it's not a real team. But I'm sure that you can use this team to some effect. Remember, in Clan vs. Clan, everyone's teams are going to be built and spread out. No one's going to be running. I shouldn't say that. They're less likely just to run meta teams. That was so good. I want to do that again, just for you. Just for you, let's do that again. So, whack, big hit. Let's target you. Oh, that hit. That was a big hit with all that defense down. I don't know who had the defense down, where that came from, but that was nice. Let's switch to you. Oh, look at that. Just peppering them. So now that's her S2. More damage. That is giving the counterattack damage up. Yeah, hit her. So with all this counterattack activation rate up, Arduin's going to be doing it no matter what, because she's also in a counter-attack set. Arduin will always counterattack in a team like this. Now, unfortunately, she just polymorphed the main unit of this fight. But she healed her up, so we're all good. So, again, here's a reason why you might want to work on your Urians and your Boars. Boars. I think I was calling them bands. It's Boars. Oh, yeah. That's fun. That's so fun. And I don't even have Arduin in the right relic with the right skill-ups. Boom, boom. Ooh, big hit. Big hit. And you're dead. Whack. Ooh, baby. See how fun this is? So yeah, Aine is fantastic. I know this video went a little long. I'm sorry, but there was a lot to discuss when talking about a hero like this. So let's look at the battle stats real quick. So you see, you look at that. So when people say she's not built for damage, look at how much damage my Aine did. You know, Arduin did a little bit more, but Aine, she can dish out the deeps. So we're going to wrap it up there, right there, ladies and gentlemen, because I rambled on way too long. This is by far going to be the longest deep dive, but I felt that I really needed to completely outline the capabilities of a unit like Aine. So, word of the day. Word of the day. Since I used it so much, and we're gonna make this a little bit more of a word with gravitas. So that's not the word of the day. The word of the day is going to be facilitator, because Aine is the best. Okay, I don't want to say best support in the game, because Jillian does different things. She has different things, but she is one of the best supports in the game. And you build her correctly, she can dish out a lot of damage as well. She can make your team just elevate and ramp up that damage as well. Put her in a counteract team. She does crazy things that are really, really fun to watch. And, you know, I had fun just watching that fight. So the word of the day is going to be facilitator. Put that down in the comment section below. I'll know you made it to the end of this video. I will like your comment, heart your comment. Thank you profusely. And tell me what you think of Aine. I'm sorry this ran long, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, I'm a convert. She's so good. So check out all the links in the description of this video. The master spreadsheet, if you need to refer back how to gear her, it's going to be on that master spreadsheet. I do have to update the graphics since I re-geared her. I'll do that immediately after I get this video uploaded. So she is going to be set in that spreadsheet that's linked below. All the links take you good places. They give you good things. Thank you to all of you that support me in the Netmarble CC program. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, almost an hour. Cheers. Peace. Bye-bye.